bet that I can get you back inside your head before the summer ends and spread a little love. Just for a little fun, I'll make you come back to me before the rise of every sun. Baby, it's meant to be, I know you got a man, but he don't understand. You're gonna be a heartbreaker, you're such a love taker. So just suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette, 'cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah. Rhythm in our love, it's impressive, excessive. You can't make this stuff up. My chest beats, it's restless, wakes the neighbors up above. Yeah, baby, come and show me love. Baby, come and show me love, because you're gonna be a heartbreaker. You're such a love taker. So just suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette, 'cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah.
We can get on a plane and take a one-way ride, steal us away to find a place we can hide. It wouldn't take much to disappear for a night, just to give in to the need and leave it all behind.
'Cause I know that you know that I know that you want me. You told me, now show me, come blow me away. 'Cause I know that you know that I know that you want me. You told me, now show me, come blow me away. You're gonna be a heartbreaker, you're such a love taker. So just suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette, 'cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah. You're gonna be a heartbreaker, you're such a love taker. So just suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette, 'cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah. Suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette, 'cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah.
And we're going with the Election Day banner still. We're going to keep that. All right. Good morning, folks. Good late morning, early afternoon. Thank you for watching Inside the Numbers with the People's Pundit. I'm the People's Pundit, Rich Barris, and you guys can follow me if you'd like on Twitter at Peoples_Pundit. All right. We're going to do Election Day recap. All right. And I will do my best to answer as many questions as possible. We'll go over how we performed on the public polling project. We'll go over the results of the presidential election. And in fact, I guess let's just bring that up in a little bit now. I will say this, because I'm getting a lot of crap over some of the things I said. I spent 2 months on this show talking about how they turned this into a quasi-election in certain states that were important to the presidential election. How we essentially use COVID to put a moratorium on accountability. And I stand by every single damn thing I said. All right. We are where we are right now because they did this. All right. And with Pennsylvania, while we're on the show in a little bit, we're probably going to start to see Arizona move. I'm waiting to hear what's going on with Nevada, but there was a court case there that essentially shut down some of the counting because it looks like this has been the story in all of these states that Clark County was done. Had a little bit of absentee vote left, but that's it. And the rest of the vote is rural. 8,000 votes separate the two candidates. And it does look like Donald Trump can tip the balance in Nevada. If he does, I will eat crow because I told you guys, don't poll it, don't fund it, right? Because I thought it wasn't worth it. I thought Biden was going to win. Nevada routinely overstates Republican support. Nevada polling. This is what happened. Donald Trump won the largest share of the non-white vote for any Republican candidate in 60 years. 60 years. And we're going to talk about some of those disparities with that. All right. But the bottom line is, if we didn't turn this into a quasi-election, if we didn't take away accountability, I really want to explain to you guys everything, how elections break down, how when somebody like me is looking at election results, how it is that that we know there's 99% reporting. How is it that we know there's whatever else, yeah, they're listen, I'll do my best to PA will move while we're on the air right now. I'll tell you right now. Pennsylvania will move while we're on the air if it didn't already. And I'll check and take a look right now because somebody just binged me. But this morning, PA said they had another 720,000, 750 roughly thousand ballots. If you look at Donald Trump's lead right now, it's about 125,000. So he's widened it out a little bit, actually. Okay. But Bucks is closer, of course, than I thought. And I'm just, if my audio is screwy, let me know. But
no, it's clear.
It's clear? Okay. 750,000 ballots is 12% of the total statewide vote. We have been told for more than 24 hours that well over 90 was in. We knew Philadelphia had at least 250,000 ballots. We're now seeing Joe Biden at 480, even though this estimated share barely moved. This is the problem, folks. This is the problem, and it leads to distrust, and it leads to insecurity and credibility, makes the credibility of a candidate's win, puts it in doubt. And people are asking, well, what are you saying? There's voter fraud? I'll show you voter fraud right now. I'll show it to you right now. You want to see it? This is why it's important. And I will show it to you. I'm taking this down and I will show you how the dead men speak, how the dead men vote. Okay. All right. Because I didn't believe some of the stuff people were throwing at me. And I can verify, you go and you work to verify this stuff. This is why and by the way, congratulations to Florida. Congratulations to Ohio, who thought they would have some problems. It's only Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and a couple others that really blew the wad here. And they did because they're not set up for this. I spent 2 months saying this is by design, and it clearly was. This is not the show for the naive. Don't give me this nonsense. But it was regardless of what the intentions were. You don't stop counting votes and then start counting them when people are asleep in the wee hours of the night. They lied right to us. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia lied right to us. No, we're not going to count until tomorrow. Everybody's tired and we're going to pick it up tomorrow. And I knew it all my years of experience. I said, you know what? I don't believe them, Laura. I'm not going to sleep. Right?
Yeah.
I don't believe them. I'm going to sit in front of this map, right?
Yeah, you woke me up at what?
I said, why don't you go get some rest? I said, why don't you go get some rest? Because she worked her butt off. She did a fantastic job being a producer, and putting, bouncing me back and forth from 5 shows on election night. I mean, she did an amazing job. And I said, why don't you go get some sleep, go rest, and I'll let you know. Sure enough, 4:00 in the morning. There it was, another chunk in Philadelphia. Not 3 minutes later, Milwaukee. Not 15 minutes after that, Wayne County, Michigan. If you want to be taken credibly, then don't do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to be accused by people, then don't do stuff like that. We could have done this better. The American voter deserves better. We're supposed to be the most powerful, sophisticated, developed, self-governing country in the world. Now, why can't everybody count votes like the state of Florida or the state of Ohio? And for those who say, well, Rich, they can't, not allowed to handle it. Ohio is the most strict state when it comes to handling of absentee ballots. In Florida, you can handle them and start processing them as long as it's 24 days before the election. That's fantastic. And we know the 8 p.m. game day, election day, we know this is how much absentee vote this is. We have, each place has. This is how much in-person early vote each place has. This is how much election day vote was tallied up during the day. Why do we do that in Florida? Why did we become the most sophisticated, now with those two gone? Why did we do it? Because we had the Bush v. Gore debacle in 2000. And once upon a time, on a bipartisan basis, Democrats didn't want to look like they were trying to steal elections. They came together and bipartisan basis, the Republicans and Democrats in Florida put together election integrity laws, some of which may sound stupid and mundane to you, but are very important, such as accountability. How many absentee ballots do you have by the deadline? Do not surprise me with another 80,000. 2 days later. Or 12% of the total statewide vote 2 days later. That's why Brenda Snipes no longer has a job. That's why Linda no longer has a job. And by the way, now that they're both gone, did you see how well Palm Beach, did you see how well Miami-Dade, did you see how well Broward County processed their results? Not a single glitch. So don't give me this crap that this is 100% on the up and up and people are just trying to keep their head above water. They did this by design. After 4 years of being told that our president stole the election and Russia helped him, he's not a credible president. He is an illegitimate president. We're going to have 4 more years of this now. So we had the left, and if they get their way, we'll have the right. We'll have the right. And you know what? Well, before we go over this map, I'm going to take this down. People say, what are you talking about? I am now getting, and for all my new followers, really, you will see how we enjoy the love over here. Okay? We really do. We love you guys back. And really, thank you for backing us up. If you're new and you didn't, and if you're new and you're like so many others who watch the show and you're like, but Nate Silver says this about you. Nate Silver is a fraud. Again now. How many elections in a row? We debuted in 2014. We started weighing into public polling in 2016. We beat them again in 18. Now here we are in 2020. This joke has missed Florida 4 elections in a row. I tried to meaningfully engage with Nate Cohen at the New York Times because I am the man in Florida. I don't even have to be shy about it anymore. Nobody is better at polling my state than me. Nobody. And I tried to meaningfully engage with him. This is why you're wrong about independence. By the way, you were, buddy. This is why you were wrong. They're just identifying as Republican because they're going to vote Republican. There is not 40% of the electorate that's going to swing how they voted in 2016. It is not R+9. You're just talking to independents who are going to vote for Donald Trump, and they are calling themselves Republicans. And you are missing Republicans that you are otherwise unable to reach through live caller. So don't tell me my business ever again. As a matter of fact, you and Quinnipiac and the rest of you should just stop polling my state because it's too damn complicated for you.
Amen.
This is misinformation at this point. Misinformation. Now, let's get to this before we get in. Because, you know what? Here's our map. And did we get Minnesota up? Our Minnesota was Biden. It was big when it came in, but we'll put it up there. Let me go to, and in fact, Biden did take Minnesota, and he took it by a decent margin. That was a solid win. Let's just go to market site. Let's show the market site. I don't think it's up on the polling. I just got so busy, guys. I'm only one guy, and with help from some people that God bless them, I love them for it. But we will have to expand next time because it was heavy work. And you guys, I really got to thank all of you who made the public polling project possible. I never believed that there was that much appetite out there for somebody you could trust to conduct public polling. Now I imagine there'll be a bigger appetite than ever. So maybe we'll go with this. I don't know. But here, let's look at the crosstab from, I was getting ready to export the crosstab. And it's been up there the entire damn time. And here's why we did see Biden. And let me show you the full. Let me show you full screen. This is why we did see Biden with a big lead in Minnesota. Let's go to region. In the North, overall, Trump won, of course. But we saw basically, Twin Cities, normal, 63-28 Biden, relatively, very normal kind of lead. But this was 48-41 and, roughly 41 and a half, 41.6. In the Twin City suburbs, Trump just couldn't get it. He just couldn't get up there and offset that. In the eastern central part of the state, he clobbered him. And then in the South, Biden did better. All right. And the North, you could see Trump did increase his vote up there with in the rest of the Iron Range. He didn't take St. Louis, but that's why it was what it was. That's why it ended up a pretty big lead for Biden. Biden plus 10. What is Minnesota right now? Do you know? I mean, pretty close. So I think the overall result, I think that was. It was like Biden plus 6 or 7, but generally I got it. That wasn't completely finished. I was going to wait a little bit more for education, which probably would have brought it down a little. But overall, Biden looked like he had a lead, like a sizable lead. It was not the way it was with the rest of them. Ohio, Trump plus 6, Trump plus 10, consistently. That's what we found. How did we end up?
Minnesota is.
Well, I mean in Ohio.
Sorry.
Trump's final margin was big. In Iowa, I said maybe vote to the left of Ohio a little bit. Maybe it'll turn to the traditional. That doesn't look like it's going to end up being the case again. But consistently, never got any closer than Trump plus 3, all the way up to Trump plus 10. So we took those off the table. Florida, Joseph R. Biden never led Donald J. Trump in the state of Florida. Never. Did I not tell you that Miami-Dade was going to swing? And I mean swing by historic proportions. Did I not tell my listeners that Hispanics were moving to Donald Trump at a rate we have never seen before? That there were new groups of Hispanics that Democrats never reached out to that are afraid of socialism, not just Cubans. There are going to be 50,000+ votes for Donald Trump down there. Did I not tell you that even if Pinellas goes to Joseph Biden, which it didn't, they split Pinellas, by the way, and Hillsborough goes a little bit to the left, it didn't. It was roughly the same it was for Hillary Clinton, that it didn't matter because the Atlantic coast was going to shift 4 points to Donald J. Trump. Don't tell me my state ever again. Take a walk. Don't ever tell me my state again. Little boys compared. Little boys. You're liars. You're liars. Your intention. You're either really shitty at your job or you're liars. Which one is it? Both. Mm-hmm. Both. Freaking joke. Ever malign me, defame me again. Sad little men you are. Sad ass little men. All right. I want to show you something. Okay? Let's go to your voter information. Okay? Let's, somebody, people send me stuff all the time and I'm like, oh, come on, that's a little out of there. But I do have access to voter files. And sure as hell enough, if I printed them out and I showed you voter files during the show and I would say, we have to exclude the dead and people who have recent moving change of address flags because they may be on the voter rolls, but they are part of what we call dirty rolls, right? So I tweeted.
Did you open up the roll?
And how many times did I open up the rolls? Correct? How many times? Unbelievably. So somebody was doing this on Twitter, and I thought, well, let me check and see if that's true, right? So sure as hell enough, I found this gentleman on the damn roll, okay? And we go through it. All right, let's check it out. Oh, look, it's there because I did it. Birth month, he was born March. What year was Mr. William Bradley born? Okay. He was born in the year 1902, okay? And his zip code, his last known address on the voter file, his zip code is 48202. Or 48207, excuse me. There it is. Let's search and see if his information is there. Oh my God, you're registered, Mr. Bradley. Oh my God, Mr. Bradley received his application on September 11th. His ballot was sent in on September 19th. His ballot was received on the 2nd of October. Mr. Bradley has been dead since 1984. He died at the age of 82 in Detroit, Michigan. Yet somehow his absentee ballot was processed by Janice Winfrey, city clerk at 2978 West Grand Boulevard in Detroit, Michigan.
He is the most healthy 122-year-old I've ever met.
Don't tell me that they haven't been at this since September. So while I was on this show talking about it doesn't matter who wins or loses. All that matters is voter integrity. That is all that matters. We cannot go election to election to election with one side saying, this one's illegitimate. This one saying, this one's illegitimate every time one side loses. You can't run a representative democracy like this. It falls apart. Don't you have kids? Don't you have children? Don't you have grandchildren? Don't you have anybody that you love? Anybody that you care about the future of? Or is everything about politics? Everything. Not in my life. And I love politics. I love it. But not in my damn life.
I've never seen such a steal for power.
Laura, they've been at this since September.
I know.
We have found, not just in Michigan. I mean, look, I don't know that I want to. If somebody wants to talk to me about it, I'll talk to them about it. I don't know if I want to spend thousands of dollars pulling the lists off the voter. There's probably $8,000 in Michigan. $6,000, $8,000. 1,000. I'm talking about 1,000. Damn right. That guy was randomly pulled. I saw it on Twitter. I'm like, nah. Sure enough, Joseph Biden underperformed Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton among African Americans all over the country, except for Wayne County, Michigan, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, and Philadelphia County, Pennsylvania. Don't you find that the least bit? Let's look.
The old white guy get a better turnout.
Thank you. That's where
first black president ever.
This is, and I wanted to show you Arizona, so I pulled up Arizona. But let's go real quick. Look at Illinois. Hillary Clinton defeated Donald Trump in the state of Illinois in 2020 by 20 points. Donald Trump got 33 or 35% of the vote. Here's Cook County. Donald Trump got 26%. How did he do that? Right? Okay. You go to New York. There's still a lot of vote out in New York because this is what we essentially did to ourselves. You got killed in the Bronx. There's Westchester in New York. Got pretty. I'll tell you what, Suffolk County, Democrats are going to rely heavily on this absentee vote stuff to be able to save some of these seats. And this is what is the overall issue, because if they got these absentee votes, that's fine. Unfortunately, though, they removed all the verification procedures, so we have really no way. So people who are accusing them of fraud, if they don't want to be accused of fraud, then they should have done this the right way, the way Florida does it, the way Ohio does it. Ohio's not even allowed to touch certain ballots. I mean, really. By the way, Quinnipiac, tie. Biden +1 just a few weeks ago in Ohio. New York Times, tie, or whatever. I mean, you got to be kidding me. On Twitter, I am being censored. I know I am. They keep pulling it down because all I did was take a dead man's voting record, put it into the system, and popped up that he voted. Right here in Michigan. By the way, believe me, I'm getting a lot right here. That's where he voted, ladies and gentlemen. He is one of these. Or one of these, excuse me. Come on. Come on. Then this is why we shouldn't have abandoned time-tested principles. Everybody could have had more election integrity and more confidence in the outcome of this election if they would have kept normal reporting standards and procedures. Florida's great. By 8 p.m. Monday, we got to know how many absentee ballots you have. 8 p.m. The only one who routinely broke those rules were Brenda Snipes. She is gone now, and the election just happened to run marvelously.
And not only that, but Florida ticked up in Hispanic vote.
I know.
Miraculously.
I thought they're for everybody voting.
I wonder how long the Hispanic vote was suppressed in Florida.
You got it. Come on, let's look at Miami-Dade real quick, because this is astonishing. It really is astonishing. Actually, he's up more, Laura. I swear to God, he's up more. 47.8. We just looked at this before, guys. And Laura and I were saying to ourselves when it was at that's Florida altogether. Okay, excuse me. Oh no, he is up more. 46.0. He was at 45. And we were thinking to ourselves, I wonder how many points was either incompetence or shenanigans. I mean, I measured the shift in Miami-Dade, and you guys can go and look, and we saw it. We were like 38%, 39%, 40%. Okay. But in the average, as you know from our polling, it was a 9-point shift. That's what we measured. The moral of the story here is how many points, because Miami-Dade was basically locked down. How many points was that good for? Right? How many points was it good for? There's Palm Beach. He's at 43.3% in Palm Beach, guys. Broward County, 35%. What happened to the 27% Republican margins? Where is it? How much of that was Donald Trump winning more of the minority vote? And how much of that are these scam artists being removed from their office because they broke the trust of the Floridian people? You got to wonder. There's no way to measure it. There's just no way to measure it. We didn't want to be a mockery anymore. So we came together on a bipartisan basis. We fixed the laws, and we removed the people who refused to obey the laws. And we conducted an election in which the outcome is not in doubt. It is credible. Everyone has faith in it. Democrats accepted they have lost in this state. No Mark Elias to run here to try to get votes counted in Palm Beach that he knows are illegal. Nope. So don't give me this crap. Mass censorship. I'm really sick of it. Tired of it. Yeah, and look, the margins in Pennsylvania were absolutely amazing for Donald Trump. If he was, look, I want to tell them, and I want to be real with you guys. I know a lot of you guys support Donald Trump. I know my media friends who do what I do for big media. They're going to put Biden over today, and they are going to make a call that Biden has won Pennsylvania. I'm telling you right now, I am a little bit disappointed. I know I didn't. What do I got now? 130 something thousand followers on Twitter. That's because of election day coverage. I didn't have it before. But if you were one of my diehard early followers who we love, you know I tried. 2 months I tried. To whatever. When I was telling you about the thing, the procedures, basically they use COVID to put a moratorium on election integrity laws and to open up the system to massive irregularities. And now I'm not saying because they declare it's over, it's over. I just feel like the president's team, you know, and for people who want to know what happened in Wisconsin, the president was assured on election night that he had these states in the bag because his margins were just too big.
I want that person fired.
Laura's
I
man.
want him fired.
That showed me they had a fundamental misunderstanding of how Democrats had planned to do this. And you didn't if you watched this show. And I just showed you that dead man's ballot was submitted in September. They've been at this for months. That is why, you know what? I really wanted to get them the video clip of Biden saying what he said. All right, maybe I'll do it and I'll play it in the break. But this is why they were so confident. This is why Nate, the fake, was putting these giant margins up. This is why. There you have it.
And by the way, you should also mention that we've never seen New York so red.
Yeah, the Suffolk County. Yep. And they still haven't called it. Why didn't they call that for Lee Zeldin? He's got a bigger margin than he had last time with about the same amount of votes. Why? You know why. Because they know they got a bunch of absentee ballots that they've been working on packing since September. I'm sorry if what I'm saying goes on to hurt me with some people that I know. I don't give a damn. I don't care, because you know what makes me even more mad? There are good people. Yes, they're liberal. Most of them are liberal. But there are good people who knew and understood that this would be a travesty, that this would absolutely end the way it's ending. They knew it, folks. They knew it. They were totally, this idea that precincts don't know what they have. So we have to estimate and give you a range. We got about this much between this much left. I have been doing this for years. For years. Many, many, many years. Is there sometimes an exact margin in doubt? Yeah. How much is left? Maybe 95, 96, 98%. Not 20-point margins. Never 20 point. Well, it's it's either 78 or 96. That's because we took accountability away for these officials to report what they had at the time they had it. Because there was no deadline in many of these places. That's a major problem right there. Because you just can't trace the origin or the time of the vote. You just can't. And in the end, we're flying blind. Listen, we're only human. We are only human. We are susceptible to the less agreeable things about ourselves. They hate this guy. They hate this guy's guts.
Because he has nobody to answer to.
Hold on.
People.
The point is, they will do right. Well, go say that again, Laura. Say that again, because he has what? Why do they hate this guy so much, honestly? Be real. Why do they? Hold on. Let me pull. You got your mic in?
Yeah, I'm in.
Let's be honest. What is it about Donald Trump that they hated so much? Hold on.
Number one thing that they hate from Donald Trump, that's the never Trumpers like Paul Ryan's and such, and the Democratic Party, is the fact that Donald Trump did not sell his soul. He has nobody to answer to but to us, the people, not some PAC, not some Soros-like person. Nobody owns Donald Trump but us. And that's why they hate him.
That's really what this has always been about. I was like struggling once trying to find the words, and I heard Don King say it better than anybody, which is that, and everything Laura just said, plus they feel almost like betrayed, and that they have to make an example out of him because the system is really designed for him. Mm-hmm. And for him to turn on it was a betrayal. And they simply can't, they just can't have that crap, man. They can't have somebody who's able to fund and make his own decisions. That is the way it is. It is true. And I'm sorry if you were fueled with hate so much that you didn't see that. But, let's get into, can I make it larger? Yeah, I'm going to move it in a second. We're going to talk about Arizona, okay? And then let me make it larger and let me get a sip of water. All right? Give me 1 second. Here we have the vote. It will be starting to get counted really soon. I'm going to explain to you what's going on in Arizona. Fox News is not your friend. If you are anything but a lefty, Fox News is not your friend. If you're conservative, Fox News is not your friend. If you're a Republican, Fox News is not your friend. If you're a populist of any kind, on the right or the left, Fox News is not your friend. I'll never get a job at Fox News, but I don't give a damn. Fox News is a fraud. They have always been a fraud. I've known way too many pretty women who have worked at Fox News to ever believe their lies. Be right back. Let me drink some water. Check out the numbers while I do. I know way too many girls who will tell you right now it sure as hell ain't a Hallmark movie over there. Hey, babe, you want some more TV time, baby? You want some more TV time, baby? All right, 5 o'clock, The Office. 5 o'clock. Disgusting. Anyway, here's where some vote is out. What Donald Trump, but they used what I said on the War Room. I stand by it. I stand by it 100%. Fox News played a role in 2018 because the goal was to impeach Donald Trump. So they were voter suppression tools in 2018 when they called the House way too early based on their fake voter analysis that isn't worth it isn't worth the toilet paper to wipe your with. All right. It is garbage, just like exit polls are garbage. It's trash. They're no better. They're about to look really foolish today. All right. But I will say this. All right. In the end, they played a role. They don't care if they end up being right or wrong. The fate of the vote in Arizona hinges on one dump. We know where most of the votes are coming from. And even in Maricopa, the votes that came in Maricopa were heavily for Donald Trump. And he got the margin that he needed, which is why I will explain to you, even from just a data point of view, that what they did was irresponsible, and they knew it was irresponsible. The guy that heads the decision desk is a partisan hack. He knows what I'm about to tell you is true. He just doesn't give a damn because he's a tool and a chump. And he used Arizona as a predicate to start the narrative of the red mirage. Fox News was the one who implemented the red mirage, for those of you who don't know what that means. Before, the absentee ballots, which we had no accountability with, were used to overtake the other states. Donald Trump looked like he was romping, and they used Arizona to change the narrative and to stop the vote. So if you saw, oh my God, he lost Arizona, then maybe you wouldn't have been so surprised when you woke up and saw Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania gone. It's just taken days to take Pennsylvania because his margin was enormous. His margin in Wisconsin was only about 4 points. In Michigan, the most it was at any point was 8. In Pennsylvania, it was 15 points at one point. Then it shrunk to 11 and maintained at 11 for much of the night. While the suburbs came in, it just wasn't enough. By the way, Donald Trump did much better in the suburbs than anybody said he was going to do. He actually won, if you believe the faux voter analysis, he won a larger share of the white woman in the suburb than he did in 2016. Take a look at it. Anyway, so here we are. There's votes still out in the southeastern part of the state, okay? And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to try to, look, it depends on one dump. I'm simply saying that Fox News absolutely had no right to call this state. They did it because it was a narrative war, not because they truly believe they made the right call. They don't care, just like Nate the Slimer fraud doesn't care that he was again wrong, just like Nate Cohen at the New York Times doesn't give a damn that his polls were abysmal, were one of the worst, just like the losers over at Quinnipiac don't care that their polls were abysmal. They don't give a damn. That's not their role anymore, to tell you the truth. Lots of votes still out over here. Donald Trump, as far as we estimate, will net several thousand more votes when that vote comes in. Greenlee is a small area, but it will give him a couple hundred more as well. Graham is about in. It's got a little bit left, and that's going to be heavy for Donald Trump. We'll go little. Gila is almost just about in. If there's a little bit more, then it obviously will go for Trump. Pima County has gone more. It is breaking bigger for Donald Trump than it broke in 2016. Okay? Here is Donald Trump's areas, and this is why when we did the public polling project, we showed Trump inching ahead. I'm going to tell you why he was inching ahead. Let's stay in the red for a second before we do anything else. All right. Let's go to Yavapai. I told you that he could actually lose Maricopa just a little bit if he did a couple of things. First, in Yavapai, where there is a strong share of the vote, he needed to get 63% of the vote. He did it. Okay. If we go down here in Santa Cruz, there's the most liberal area in Arizona. Sometimes Republicans could be even thrown into the high 20s in this area. He stayed at 31%. Here's Pima County, the second biggest county of the state, represents typically 14 to 17% of the vote share in any given election. There is a little bit left in Pima that will be counted today. I know it says estimated greater than 99%. The truth is, folks, we don't know. All right. But I'm talking about as it relates to these other states. North Carolina is 99% too. They're telling me they got another 100,000 ballots in North Carolina. So basically, by the time North Carolina is done, everybody in North Carolina would have voted. Damn near. And I'll show you that. All right, but moving forward, these ballots were coming in heavily Trump as it went on. There's some in Pima and some in Maricopa that is in question. One dump in particular. The rest of the ballots that are going to be out, we do know now will come in strong for Donald Trump. It's probably in the order it will be released. We will probably see Trump move ahead, inch ahead. There is one dump that will determine whether he stays ahead or whether Biden pulls back and falls about 10,000 votes over. There are different ranges for the estimates, but that's one of the more likely scenarios, okay? Maricopa County right now, they're separated by about 74,000 votes. That is more than the 68,000 that Joe Biden leads with. There is still a big chunk in Maricopa, which Donald Trump won last night by the margin that he needed to win it by to change the result of the state. We expect that margin to continue, save for one batch that in truth, we just don't know. Because they've been coming in sometimes better for Trump, sometimes better for Biden. We just don't know. I suspect Fontes is playing games over there, and that's why he wouldn't let people in to count that batch. But we'll just have to see. It's possible that the margin is so big for Trump anyway that that last dump really isn't enough to tip it back. Or it's possible that the margins aren't big enough in some of these areas. We really do have to see. What we do know for sure is that the most likely scenario is that the vote that comes in soon will come in very pro-Trump. And then there is one chunk left. And if it's a little bit better for Biden, it may either tip it back for him or keep him from losing the lead altogether. All right. I did tell you, Maricopa, he can lose Maricopa by a little bit. He doesn't have to win Maricopa. If you win it, you know you won. But he doesn't have to win it because he got such big shares in Yavapai and cranked out vote shares, not only shares, but totals. Right, Laura? I mean, Yavapai was 70-something thousand in 2016. We're talking huge shares of the vote. All right. Yeah, but if he was to just fight Maricopa to a draw, then you know he's going to take it and he's probably going to hold it because they're separated in Maricopa by a margin that's bigger than the margin Joe Biden leads by. And the rest that's going to come in is going to be heavily pro-Trump. There is a little bit left in Pima, but it's not enough to save if the vote breaks a certain way, it's not enough to save Joe Biden. All right. So let's go into Pennsylvania real quick. Trump's got it's going. That's what I'm saying. About 117,000 votes. Now Philadelphia is still showing. We went up to 488, Laura, and they're still showing 25% almost. They changed that, guys. They changed that. We know, and we know first. And here, I told people that Biden would take Bucks. All right. I know everybody got excited, but Chester is in 57-41 Biden, and Bucks will widen. I suspect it will widen out a little bit more. Okay. Just in Bucks alone. Trump did as well as he needed to do in Allegheny County. He got about 40% of the vote. They have a little bit left too. That'll certainly help Biden get there. But what they have been doing is using Delaware and Montgomery. Montgomery's done. They counted 10,000 ballots for Joe Biden that were in dispute. They didn't give a damn. They ran it through the ringer. And this is why the Trump campaign just got outplayed. They just got outmaneuvered. People weren't listening to what I was saying for 2 months. And I was saying it not just to, not because I'm trying to help the president. You can't go 4 years like we did the last 4, questioning the credibility of somebody's win. You cannot go another 4 years. We're going to kill each other. We're going to wind up killing each other. They're going to use Delaware to get it in striking distance, and then they will drop 100 to 200,000 ballots from Philadelphia, which will put Joe Biden over. And that is their freaking plan. All right? Just to give you that. All right, there you have it. And then even Erie, by the way, they're claiming they may have enough to overtake Erie. That would be, it would just be ridiculous. Of where? Nevada is where I'm going next. Okay. All right. So, oh my God, it's coming in now. It came in a little bit more. Okay. It is 12:15. So we see that Biden actually widened out a little bit here. Is that what happened? Because it was 8,000. Let me just math. Yeah, he widened out, which means that this is something that's funny though. All right. They were supposed to stop counting over here. They were supposed to, and now it says 85 to 99. Okay, the magic sauce for a Republican to win in Nevada is that they are supposed to win 40% or more of the Hispanic vote and win 45% in Clark County. This is why I told you guys don't bother polling Nevada because, and I'm not saying that the president can't take a lead. There's a lot out in Douglas that could put him over. There's a lot of rural vote out in Nevada. And apparently, I'm just taking a look since the last time I looked. It doesn't look like they've reported any. Rural Nevada's holding. Yeah, let me just go through it. Yeah, they're holding. And Washoe came in. It looks like a few more votes in Washoe, Laura. That may have been where it came from. They were separated by about 8,000 votes before. It appears they're separated by a little over 9. All right. Or am I reading that wrong? 12? Is it 12? My eyes are starting to really like go. About 11,000 and change. Okay. So they must have dumped some of those ballots we were talking about earlier today. What was left in Clark? They must have. There's just no other way this could have happened. I'm looking at Washoe. This is only a little bit. It's not. Oh, well, he was down by 8. So yeah, they probably dumped about 3,000 ballots in Washoe. All right. But in any event, this is the deal out in Nevada. You got these two holding, right? And Clark has been, you guys know, I went over this. I spent an entire show on Nevada. The ruling in Nevada. First of all, in the state of Nevada, ballot harvesting is illegal. Democrats got, with all of the proposals that they put out before this election, they got the best case in Nevada. Why? Because they put a moratorium on the ban on ballot harvesting. That's number one. Number two, in Clark County, they took $300,000 of taxpayers' money and they gave it to their friends and Democratic operatives to go out and harvest those ballots. Number three, we know Clark County is about 6 into 7 and 10, 68% of the vote in the state of Nevada, and they are 87% of the dirty roll problem. So they disproportionately outweigh when it comes for the potential for fraud or something like that. There were ballots, according to Las Vegas Journal Review, according to even faux news. There were ballots flowing in the streets, pinned to corkboards in apartment complexes, overflowing in dumpsters outside. I mean, it was the Wild West out there. And they have 2 weeks out in Clark County with 225,000 plus inactive and dead voters on the voter rolls to run around and grab up those ballots. And you're seeing what they're doing in Georgia, which they are going to flip. Okay, Georgia's probably going to head for a recount, but they're probably going to flip Georgia because they've been ballot harvesting for 2 days. And the minute I went and grabbed somebody's tweet to put up to show it, Jack Dorsey took me down.
Yep.
They're openly doing it. They don't fear anything. Which is the problem. There is no consequences. They have to be made to fear that they will be held accountable.
But I'm saying, you think it's bad now.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. That's all I gotta say to that. Just wait. You'll see.
It will be incredible. It will be the Wild West everywhere. Because now they will have, they'll just try to change some of these laws. I will say this. It's a shocking presidential election result, not just because the polling was a fraud, but because Republicans did so well in the House. Which Charlie Cook and Stu Rottenturd, Charlie Cook the books and Stu Rottenturd thought and told you was going to go even more Democratic. So far, they're down 8 seats. And we can take a look at that too, by the way, if you guys want. Let's do that. And the Senate, 90% chance 93% chance the Senate goes to Democrats. I mean, at some point, folks, you got to ask yourself, when you're tired of being lied to, when are you going to be done? When are you going to say enough is enough? When are you going to say, I'm a liberal, but I'm sick of these bastards lying to me? Susan Collins didn't lead in a single public poll going into the election in the last month. 2 months, right? 2 months, I think. Not a single public poll. Quinnipiac, down 9. Look at that. Tom Tillis didn't lead in a single public poll. He's going to hold on to that seat, even though it is very close. Hell, who knows? They may manufacture 100,000 votes. Who knows? Purdue is headed for what looks to be recount territory because they want the presidential race so badly. They can't leave that many undervotes. They just can't do it. So they have to write it in for John Ossoff too. I'm serious. I don't mean to just say it out loud, but you can't put that many.
They're doing fraud out now.
Yeah, you can't do. I mean, guys, I'm telling you, you can go and look. You can go and look. It's being headed up by Obama's former speechwriter. And there's plenty. Oh, they're all over the state. I got rid of it. It's gone.
Thank you.
It's just, it happens. It just pops in. Sorry about that, guys. Texas, Biden +3. New York Times. Tie. There'll be 35% new voters. 2 million. Don't you get tired of being lied to? That's my question for you, liberal. Don't you get tired of being gaslit? Hey, how much money did you give to Hagar? How much money did you give to a race that you lost by 10 points? Aren't you sick of being lied to? Lindsey Graham, tied. How much money did Harrison take that could have went to feeding children? Ossoff trails. It'll, again, it looks like we're getting into recount territory for Purdue as well. But recounts don't go well if you have strict things over there. That's it. It depends how a recount is done. It depends in what state it is done. So like the Trump campaign wants to recount Wisconsin. When that happened in 2016, Jill Stein went nuts and said, I want to recount here, I want to recount there. And in Michigan and Wisconsin, they started to dip their weight, and Detroit got caught. They got caught stuff, and they're like, okay, you entered these ballots in the system. Where are the ballots to back them up, right? I must make a clerical error. 3,000 net for Trump in that precinct. I mean, and eventually Democrats pressured Jill Stein to back off of it. In Wisconsin, it was a big chunk of the vote. It sent them from 0.3 to 0.7 or whatever. That is what sent Trump that far up. One error. Imagine what they would have found if they would have kept counting. Antrim look at Antrim. They're just at 0 now. They're just at 0. Is the watermark on real ballots true? I don't know what that.
You remember you said about the story about them stamping the post office?
Oh, that's not the watermark. That's a stamp from the post office. Yeah, guys, I try telling you this, and maybe it is the case that some of you aren't from the neighborhood that I grew up in. I wasn't always, I was not born with a silver spoon in my hand, and I grew up around a democratic machine, a very corrupt democratic machine, mostly controlled by the mafia. And this is the way things go. And the USPS people, they're in on it, man. They'll help you get those, they are in on it. See some ballots over here in this neighborhood, junk them. That's the way. I mean, the idea that this whistleblower that James O'Keefe spoke to is like a one out, an exception to the rule. That's ridiculous. The post office is liberal. It's very, very liberal. And unfortunately, we are all susceptible to our own, what's the word?
Demise.
Yeah. We're all susceptible to corruption in our hearts. That's really it.
Well, that's why God said, follow the spirit, not the flesh.
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's
Sorry.
true. She's a
I
more
don't mean to preach
spiritual
it. I
person.
got
She's a
Jenny
preacher.
for
Preacher. Her dad is a preacher. Anyway, in our public polling, and this is why I want to bring this up. In our public polling, we did show John James running a little bit behind Donald Trump. He started to run. He ran a little bit ahead of him in Michigan. This doesn't surprise me because if you guys watch the show when we dumped Michigan, the undecideds look better to me. For John James, excuse me, the undecideds look better to me for John James than they did for Donald Trump. I got to tell you, when the results in Michigan started to roll in, I was actually quite stunned. Let me just check and see if there are any results we could start looking at as they come in right now. If not, then we'll go to not yet. Okay. So if not, we'll go to the House. All right. While we do that, let me take a real quick break. All right. I'm going to get some water. We'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll go over a couple House races and then we'll take a look at freaking ad. It goes and pops away. Sorry. We'll take an ad. We'll take a look at the House races. Laura's killing me. And then we'll go over, we'll go back and we'll look and see if the presidential results are updating. Like I said, I'm not sure why they're doing anything in Nevada. They're supposed to have stopped. I mean, don't give a damn. They just don't give a damn. All right, we'll be back in 2 minutes. You're watching Inside the Numbers with the People's Pundit. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter if you don't already at Peoples_Pundit. Okay, this thing seems to be glitchy a little bit. All right, folks, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
How much you wanna bet that I can get you back inside your head before the summer ends and spread a little love. Just for a little fun, I'll make you come back to me before the rise of every sun. Baby, it's meant to be, I know you got a man, but he don't understand. You're gonna be a heartbreaker, you're such a love taker. So just suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette, 'cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah. Rhythm in our love, it's impressive, excessive. You can't make this stuff up. My chest beats, it's restless, wakes the neighbors up above. Yeah, baby, come and show me love. Baby, come and show me love, because you're gonna be a heartbreaker. You're such a love taker. So just suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette, 'cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah.
We can get on a plane and take a one-way ride, steal us away to find a place we can hide. It wouldn't take much to spear for a knife, just to give into the need and leave it all behind.
'Cause I know that you know that I know that you want me. You told me, now show me, come blow me away. 'Cause I know that you know that I know that you want me. You told me, now show me, come blow me away. You're gonna be a heartbreaker. You're such a love taker. So just suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette, 'cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah. You're gonna be a heartbreaker. You're such a love taker. So just suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette, 'cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah. Suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette, 'cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah.
Yeah, bad habit. All right. Yeah, so we're back. You're watching Inside the Numbers with the People's Pundit. And I am the People's Pundit. I am the People's Pundit, not the media hack pundit, not the I control betting market Slimer pundit. All right. Not the I fake poll for the New York Times pundit, the People's Pundit. Okay. And I really got to thank all of you again who made the public polling project possible. The one miss, if any, there's going to be, because I'm fully convinced we were right in Pennsylvania. All right. What I'm not fully convinced is we were wrong, right in Arizona. I thought in the end, this is why I'm really, really watching Maricopa, because it looked like to me. And by the way, exit polls all showed, even though they suck, the exit polls all showed that late deciders, we call reluctant leaners, remember, broke to Donald Trump. We saw it everywhere. We showed you. The fake polls said otherwise. I'm not even calling them bad polls anymore.
No, they're
fake polls. ABC News, Washington Post, plus 17. When we conducted our first Wisconsin poll, Biden plus 2. Plus 17, folks. Holy crap. Don't tell me that's an error. At this point, there is so much evidence that what we had been telling them, and you know what? We're going to try this year to gauge the shy Trump vote. We're going to try to identify the shy Trump vote. There was so much evidence. They just chose to ignore it. They chose to ignore it. They didn't care. They wanted the result they wanted because they're liars.
But you know what I'm really tired of? Like the Mitch McConnells of the world.
Oh, hold on. Let me bring you in.
What I'm saying is, what I'm tired of is the Mitch McConnells of the world, like the tough talk that they wouldn't let this happen, and then hindsight 2020, I'm looking at them all bending over. Like, I mean, come on, tell me you don't see this? Like, where was the strength that they all preached before election? Where were they? I just don't know where they were. This is what's aggravating me. Like, because somebody has a fake badge and tells you need to stand 20 feet away. Well, how am I supposed to verify a ballot? Because that would be my argument. I can't stand 20 feet away, not unless you would like to hand me a set of binoculars. All right. Other than that person, you're going to have to drag me out by a real police officer for me to believe that that's a real law.
Yeah. Yep. And by the way, one of those videos that were taken down, when they were showing videos of people trying to get in there and to get there, to be able to observe the vote counting. I really don't think at this point, I mean, because it's important to understand too, that most of these poll workers and election supervisors, right? They are supervisors on Tuesday and double as Democratic activists on Thursday.
Seriously.
The Attorney General of Pennsylvania already knew that they had filled in clearly that they had those absentees in the bag because he gave his hand away, Laura, on Twitter. He showed his hand on Twitter. The Secretary of State, hat tip Molly Hemingway, the Secretary of State is an anti-Trump, vehement, frothing at the mouth, anti-Trumper. These are who is conducting oversight of this election while nobody from the Trump campaign is allowed to go in and look.
No bias there.
Laura, come on. We folks and liberals, again, we don't tolerate that in emerging third world democracies. We don't.
I know.
It's not credible. It's not credible. But talking to people, I've gotten a lot of calls in the last couple of days. I'm talking about from Republicans. And I'm like, how do you not know how this works? How have you been in the game for as long as you've been and you don't understand how this works? Wait a minute. You don't know? You don't know why accountability by precinct you don't know the importance and the necessity of having granular data at the precinct level by deadlines and times?
Preach about that. Let's talk about the precinct data that you were allowed to have.
You're not allowed to have precinct data this time.
this much
Lem-
to this much.
Yeah, that well, right. The range. And I should explain people why there were ranges this time. Because we didn't have precinct level data. Nobody. I don't know, look, when you inquire about it, you talk to our election officials, it was clear everybody in the media was going to go about it this way. The truth is, folks, they changed every election norm to defeat Donald J. Trump because they couldn't do it on election day.
Honestly.
That's the truth. I don't know what else to tell you. We are entitled to and typically get precinct level data. They will tell you it's because of COVID.
They can't count.
I don't understand what on earth COVID has to do with you reporting results by precinct. What the hell does that have to do with anything? Or the removing of verification procedures. As a matter of fact, I still have my bulletin up here. Let's go through it. And now that it's post-election, the removal of verification procedures because of coronavirus, the removal of signature verification because of coronavirus is a symptom of coronavirus that you no longer know how to sign your own name. Does somebody develop different handwriting styles when they catch coronavirus? I'm unclear what the hell that has to do with anything. In fact, if anything, ballot harvesting should be doubly illegal because you're not social distancing. Right?
Amen.
All right. This is what they wanted, and they got in many areas. But this was the exactly what they wanted. Everyone gets a ballot. In prior years, ballots must be requested, and inactive voters must update their info. Even the deceased, change of address flags, and other inactive voters will receive ballots. That was what they wanted from the jump. In some states, they got it. In some states, they did not. In the states that are now proving important, a lot of these automatic triggers went into effect. It was actually really smart. I didn't notice it until the end. Remember that official in Bucks County who told me how it works in Bucks?
Yeah.
That was great because if you have great for Democrats. If you have a competitive primary, but the other side doesn't, if you make it a rule that if you participated in the primary, you automatically get a ballot, then you will inherently have an advantage over your opponent when it comes to absentee ballots voting, right? Because you're making it a lot less, what's inconvenient to vote. You're getting it. Just come in the mail. Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, number 2. No verification procedures. Democrats did not want signature match or other verification procedures, which were required in these states, most of these states, by law. They wanted a moratorium on verification procedures. Because look, I'm not trying to be, an ass here, but the fact of the matter is the president was assured by his team who was negligent
At best.
that the margins were too great. He overcame fraud because everybody knew what they were getting ready to do. I don't think they understood the scale at which it was going to be done. And I don't think they misled him. Again. Misled him again. All right. Number 3. And this is the very, very keen to Nevada. Ballot harvesting. They're doing it in the state of Georgia right now. It's illegal, but they're doing it. They wanted a moratorium on laws banning ballot harvesting. Even in states when harvesting is illegal, Democrats wanted to use tax dollars to fund harvests to retrieve votes. They got that in Nevada, in Clark County, Nevada. They got that. They took your tax dollars if you live there. They took your tax dollars, about $500,000 almost, and they gave it to their friends and activists to go around just in case the margin is that close, which it is. And they gave them 2 weeks to harvest up. So when Lyon, Douglas, and the rest come in and overtake Joe Biden's margin, they'll have 2 weeks to undo it. So when the election day vote in Georgia swamps the early vote like it did, they'll have 72 hours. I woke up this morning and I was assured by officials there were only 17,000 ballots left. An hour later, they tell a reporter something totally different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we asked for why. We asked for a why. Well, somebody else found 9,000 ballots. Well, then they did the math and they said, that's not enough. Laura, that's not enough. Now we got 50. We're not going to report yet. No. We got 70. This morning, they said in Fulton and DeKalb, whatever.
You said it right, DeKalb.
And a couple others that they had been told to update and report their final results at noon today. It's 12:41. What are they doing? I'll tell you what they're doing. If they lose Arizona and they can't, and they lose Nevada, they need Pennsylvania. They've been chipping, and I do think they're going to get Pennsylvania unless something happens. I know the Trump campaign says they got a victory, a legal victory today. But guys, the fact of the matter is, this was a well-oiled 2-month-long operation, and they got outsmarted. How do we know?
Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
One more time.
Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Smoking, it's not showing the video.
They cut. Am I
Now you're
not
back.
there?
You're back now, but all they're doing is showing you smoke and not the video of
Well,
Joe Biden.
That's funny. So did they see it? Can you ask them if they saw it?
Did you guys see Joe Biden tell?
Unreal.
Yeah, they said you two didn't like you showing that video.
Yeah. Well, am I back now or not?
You're back now.
They didn't like me showing it, huh?
They completely.
Is that right?
Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
I have never seen anything like this in all my years. I don't know what to tell everybody. I really don't. If you think it's bad now, and they can hear me, right? I'm back now, right? If you think it's bad now, folks, just wait. Just wait. How long can I go here?
Go ahead. You
Got some kind of they've been
15
waiting.
minutes. You got 15 more minutes before you have a Skype meeting.
I have a Skype at 1 on the dot.
I could ask her if I could push.
No, I'm just want to know. Is it at 1 on the dot? It is, right? Okay. Well, it's the New York Post, and she wants to talk about how bad the polling was in 2016. And in fact, I may add, I spoke to this person before, and I don't know. I guess they spiked the story. But you should have been told already about all of the problems in the polling industry, because I spent an hour with the woman explaining in great detail what the hell was going on. And I said, and I quote, "We are headed for the biggest polling era since 1947. Truman versus Dewey." And I was right. It doesn't matter they used absentee ballots to get Biden a 0.2% lead in some of these states. We all know what happened here. ABC News, Washington Post. Biden leads Trump by 17 in Wisconsin. NBC News, Biden nationally, 14-point lead. Stu Rottenturd, we're headed for the biggest Mondale landslide. They lied to you, man. The truth is, those guys are just stupid. They're poll readers. They don't know anything about this business. They're not that smart. They listen to what their favorite pollsters tell them, and that's it. I'm going to look and see if Arizona's updating. I was hoping it would while we were doing this so I could go through this with them. All right. I think they're playing games over here like, well, when Arizona goes or Nevada starts to go, then we will, looks like Nevada updated a little bit, and it's a 12,000 margin for Joe Biden. So they are counting, and I guess it's coming from either Washoe or Clark. I honestly cannot tell you where these votes are coming from because they're not really. The truth is, guys, I'm not seeing that much movement. Clark County is still 45.2% for Donald Trump, 43% for Joe Biden, and it hasn't moved. 85.98 to 99% in. It hasn't moved. Washoe at still estimated greater than 95% in. Donald Trump 47, Joe Biden 41, basically, if I'm rounding. Doesn't look like much has changed at all there. So I don't know why margins would be growing. Certainly nothing in the blue area and the red areas has come in. I don't know what to tell you guys. I really don't know. I suspect it's Clark. I do. But I'm just not seeing any change. I see change in the total, but I don't see change elsewhere. Let's look at Arizona. I'm going to keep this open and keep an eye on Arizona while we're talking. Maybe it will start to update. Arizona, look, did the break change at all? 60 to 82. Joe Biden did better in Maricopa, it looks like, but it's not changing. Or am I 60, 40, 60, 72? No, it hasn't changed. It was Clark, right? It was Clark. It had to be. It had to be. But the vote, what I'm saying, even on my map, which is supposed to be a live API update, give it a second. I still see 431,863 votes for Joe Biden.
People are saying they're unable to comment live on our stream.
On Periscope? It's got to be Periscope or YouTube.
Periscope.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, it is what it is what it is. But basically, we'll keep an eye on it. If it starts updating, I'll keep it up. I just don't want to give them any reason. You know what I mean? Is it? Well, that's why she's telling me it's glitching out. And look, it could be something legitimate.
Well,
so I don't want to add something.
Traffic, traffic is heavy.
Yep, we're getting heavier traffic lately. That's good. That's good. But now that I've crossed the 100,000 threshold on Twitter, I can't tweet anything without some. All I did here, let me show you my Twitter feed. Actually, I'll show you what the kind of stuff they're doing. All I did on my Twitter feed, folks, was share something that Sean Davis shared. Okay. Okay. Oh, they totally removed him. He's gone. You see it? This is a former Obama speechwriter. All right. Turned Democratic operative. Tweets openly about illegally harvesting ballots in Georgia after the election is over. And Twitter censors Sean Davis for simply pointing it out, complete with pop-up and all. Incredible. And this is what it looked like. All right. This was the tweet. It's gone already. So they're saying I'm giving misleading information. Okay. And then here's Sean's actual tweet. All right. David Litt. Anyone in Georgia, Team Joe needs people to go door to door helping voters fix their mail in ballots so they can count. This is how they get those ballots after the election.
See the grayed out part right
Yep. And they censored me too. So they actually censored Sean when he was simply writing about the ruling in Philadelphia. It was a judge's ruling, and they censored him for it. And it's like, whoa, what are you talking about? All I'm doing is giving the actual ruling. It's a dangerous time, a really dangerous time. We have these essentially, they're like these suburban little brats who grew up, and then because they were techie, they made these tools like this. You know, they made a lot of money, very young. They are immature. They are of low character, of very low character, and they have too much power. And they're now the guardians of what people can and cannot say. All Jason Miller from the Trump campaign did before was won a major victory in Philadelphia, press conference coming, boom, censored.
Crazy.
A video showing a woman trying to look at what's going on in the polling spot. Clearly, multiple people, and we know this, Laura, this old Broward County days. Multiple people sitting around the table in or it was Detroit, with the pens, filling in the bubbles.
Ridiculous.
That one in Georgia, too, and in DeKalb County.
It's just so in your face now.
They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. Like I said, folks, you know what it really boils down to? They don't fear you at all. They don't fear accountability. They don't fear anything. And that is the major problem.
What if people implore their electoral college representatives?
Oh, I'm not gonna. You know what? Let's one thing at a time here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is, don't go down that road. I don't know. You go down whatever road you want. No, I'm simply saying, I spent 2 months trying to explain to everybody, and I'm stunned. I'm stunned at how ignorant everybody was to how this works logistically. And I don't mean you guys. I'm talking about people you counted on to watch this stuff.
Yeah, you're not allowed to retweet the president. Somebody's like, I tried to send.
Hold on, wait, because you got censored too by doing it. Yeah, hold on.
So, you're not allowed to retweet the president apparently, because I went and retweeted a comment of his, and I got censored, and they grayed out the information that I quote tweeted, which was Donald Trump, and said that I am trying to influence or misinform people of the election. And I was just like, really? They're not voting?
Very scary.
It's just a scary world we're living in right now, and this is not good. Nobody.
Well, listen, they're worse than the Bolsheviks because they have more powerful tools than the Bolsheviks ever had. The Bolsheviks just had a gun, a gun in numbers. They had numbers and then a gun. This is different. These people have more than that. It's no good. Did you tell her, by the way, Zoom? I don't use Zoom, man. Skype.
No, I said Skype.
Oh, okay. And you gave her the Skype ID? Give her the Skype ID. I'm not using Zoom. Zoom can kiss my ass. I am not using the CCPs.
Oh, did I say Zoom? I might have
yeah, look, no more Zoom for me. I'm done. I'm serious. I'm not even kidding. Look, guys, I'm not. When I tell you I'm not joking, I told my mother-in-law. I was like, listen to me. You will turn that shit off. And excuse me if your kids are looking. I'm sorry. You will turn that off because she loves, politics. I got her involved in, just from what she was observed years ago. By the way, she voted for the first time since 1996, this election. Very, just amazing. Second time she's ever voted. Amazing. But she likes, what else am I going to watch? But Fox, she says, because she thinks the others are crazy. And I'm like, listen, you want to watch Fox? Knock yourself out. Get your own box. Get your own cable cable contract. I'm like, that's how it is over here now. All right. It's not only a matter of them being irresponsible. And, the fact of the matter is, how much more evidence do we need that there's an issue in the polling industry? I identified it. They did not. And there's so much evidence at this point that they have a problem. There's so much evidence. It can only be that you are either doing it on purpose or you're stupid or you're just really bad or both, right? Florida was never competitive. And I told you guys Trump had a 2-point lead. It was solid. But then when those undecideds voted, and a lot of that was probably social desirability bias, Donald Trump was going to win the state of Florida. Why? Because his approval rating was over 50%. Over, not at, over 50%. And presidents who have approval ratings that high tend to get the lion's share of those who are telling you they are undecided. It was also fundamentally what was going on in the race. The bottom line is Donald Trump moved South Florida in a way that no Republican has done since Bush. And the only reason why Bush was that strong in South Florida is because it was so much whiter back then. That's it. It was much, much more white. That's why. So it was over. When you start to measure in the 40s with a president in Miami-Dade or any candidate that's a Republican, it's over. I will tell you, and we'll take note, Duval County did not go to Joe Biden by 10 points. It went to Biden, but only by a few. Just like Ron DeSantis and Andrew Gillum. Pinellas is a draw. I'm not even going to give that to Biden. It was a statistical draw. Hillsborough didn't even really move since Hillary. Hillsborough's consistently now a plus 11 kind of district. Pasco certainly didn't move. It went for Trump pretty nice. There was nowhere for Joe Biden to get those votes. Even in Broward County, Donald Trump did better. Biden plus 6, New York Times. Biden plus 3, I heard at the end, New York Times. Quinnipiac, Biden plus 6. You got to be kidding me. Then we went over, we polled Arizona. That's why, one of the reasons why, too, I feel like this chunk will be better for him, because Maricopa County, in the end, that last chunk in Maricopa really did look better for Donald Trump than the rest of the votes that were coming in before, as far as what our polling said. So those late breakers and the votes that are being processed now, if the polling was any indication, they're going to be better for Trump in Maricopa, because that was like late deciders still holding on to their ballots, telling us, "No, I'm going to vote early, but I've decided I'm going to go for Trump." So I still do think that in the end, Maricopa's, it's going to tighten. It's just a matter of how much. All right. So that would be the one state where if Trump does tip it a little bit, well, then we were right. If Biden holds on to it, we were still a reasonable result, 2.5 points, not some ridiculous kind of margin that showed it wasn't a competitive race. And then we did Wisconsin. We did have Biden plus 2. And if that ends up, where it is, then we were right on the money. But again, it was a competitive race. And this is why, yet again, I also think that, I know you guys are going to say, well, it really wasn't Biden plus 2. I agree with you, actually. But point is, the way we modeled the electorate looked a bit more Republican overall than we modeled it. So that would suggest something too. Either way, again, a competitive race. Michigan, Biden plus 2. Right now, it is Biden plus 2, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, we showed a competitive race. I still, to this day, and I will never give it up, I know Pennsylvania. I saw it move. I do believe in my heart of hearts, my personal opinion, which I'm allowed to have, Jack Dorsey. I'm allowed to have it, Mr. Jack. My personal opinion is Donald Trump won the state of Pennsylvania. And that's it.
End of story.
End of story.
Mhm.
I saw it move at the last minute. It wasn't only that Biden didn't get all the undecideds. Biden was losing voters in the last 2 weeks. Voters that would have said a week or two before, I'm voting for Joseph R. Biden. He lost voters, mainly 45 and above, Western Pennsylvania, Northeastern Pennsylvania. And that was funny in Lackawanna, huh? It supposedly only had 5% left to count. This big dump comes in, and it goes from Trump plus 10 to Biden plus 14 in Lackawanna. That was something. That was old school, let me tell you. So we did, what I think we have something to be proud of. We showed it was competitive. And we pulled Ohio, we pulled Iowa. They were not close. Did I or did I not flip out on Fox News with their Biden plus 3? And I dedicated an entire show to opening up the voter file, to opening up MarketSite, to showing you my raw data set, to showing you what it would take to even get close to Biden plus 5, Biden plus 3. The raw routinely came in Trump plus 10. Routinely. And if you go back and look, you will remember the episode when I had to show how I would have had to wait by party, which I never do and do not like to do. I had to wait by party to get Biden even close to 6 or 4 points. Biden was always getting his ass kicked in Ohio. Iowa, not close. Pulled it twice. Once for you guys, once for the Epoch Times. Never got, and then once before that, Trump plus 10, then Trump plus 3, then Trump plus 8. They were lying to you. They're freaking liars. And I got to wrap it up there, I guess. Let's just check for them real quick. She is waiting on me.
Yeah.
Let me just check for them and make sure
Skype is just fine.
Let me just make sure that Arizona didn't update for them, because then, sorry, Mary Kay, but it'd probably make you wait a little bit longer.
She sees you're still on air.
I'm coming off, Mary Kay. I'm coming off. I just want to make sure, because I wanted to be there for them when Arizona updated. Nah, Fontes playing games, no doubt. We'll be back tomorrow, folks. You're watching Inside the Numbers. We love you for it. Get your questions ready and we will fire away. Thank you for all the super chats. And again, thank you for those who made the project happen. I did not believe it would happen. I really didn't think you guys would fund it. But now I understand why you got an appetite for somebody to tell you the truth, because I am thoroughly a cynic now. These are lying pieces of garbage. That's all they are. They are not even close to truth tellers. Professional courtesy, over. They never gave any to me. There was way too much evidence that they were just wrong, or at the very least bad at their jobs. No, they were using it as a tool, as a voter suppression tool. End of story. And with that, I leave you. All right, I'm going to roll, leave you guys. And I don't think she booked me for tomorrow. I hope not, because I want to get back to my 10 a.m. programming.
No.
Okay. All right, because I would love to get Inside the Numbers back to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Okay, so tomorrow, there we go. I got the green light. Tomorrow we will be live, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, and we'll go over and we'll see what's changed since then. All right. All right, all the best, folks. Be safe. Thanks again for watching Inside the Numbers. I'll leave you with the soothing sounds of the Bowen Band. Bad Habit. See you tomorrow morning. And it's not going. See you.
How much you wanna bet that I can get you back inside your head before the summer ends, and spread a little love. Just for a little fun, I'll make you come back to me before the rise of every sun. Baby, it's meant to be. I know you got a man, but he don't understand. You're gonna be a heartbreaker. You're such a love taker. So just suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette. 'Cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah. aggressive, excessive. You can't make this stuff up. My chest beats, it's restless, wakes the neighbors up above. Yeah, baby, come and show me love. Baby, come and show me love. Because you're gonna be a heartbreaker. You're such a love taker. So just suck me in and you can toss me like a cigarette. 'Cause I just wanna be a bad habit, yeah.
We can get on a plane and take a one-way ride. Steal us away to find a place we can hide. It wouldn't take much to spear for overnight. Just to give in to the need and leave it all behind.
'Cause I know that you know that I know that you want me. You told me, now show me, come blow me away. 'Cause I know that you know that I know that you want me. You told me, now show me,